everyone! In this video, I have 15 things only old Bloxburg players will remember. Feel free to check out part 1 in the description. Anyway, let's just get right into it. The first old secret is the first version of Pizza Planet. Right now, this is what Pizza Planet looks like. It might be updated in the future, so it might look different if you're watching this later on, but before this, Pizza Planet looked kinda different. This is what the first version looks like. It has the same layout, but the colors are different, and it gives it a completely different look. I believe this version was only in Bloxburg in 2016, so you would have to be playing since the game was released to know about this. Speaking of the map, the second old secret is that Bloxburg didn't have all the buildings we have today. We didn't have the supermarket until update 0.3.5 or the parking garage until update 0.5.2. I don't know what the map looks like without the supermarket, but it would feel weird without it being here now. I don't think anyone ever uses the parking garage, so I feel like it isn't needed on the map. Both of these were added a long time ago though, in 2016 and 2017, so you would have to play for a really long time to know about this. The third old secret is that there was no clone tool. You had to place and color every single item individually. There was no way around it for you to copy items. This was so frustrating, especially if you were cloning an item with like multiple items on top of it. Cloning just saves so much time. We got the cloning tool in 2019 and everyone was really happy with it. Old players will definitely remember how much more time building took without this tool. The next old secret is that there was no resizing. The skill tool was added in 2021, so you might remember this if you've been playing for a couple of years. The skill tool wasn't as wanted as the clone tool, but it is still super helpful. Resizing things lets you customize your build a lot more and make like really unique building hacks. The only thing people don't like about it is how you can only resize things with the advanced placing game pass. I think everyone is glad they added this though. The next old secret is that there used to be no bills. There were no bills at all for a short amount of time when Bloxburg was still new. This didn't last that long of course, but it was so nice to not have bills since bills are so expensive. Lots of people have to work to pay their bills, and it was just so nice not having to worry about that at all. Speaking of money, the next old secret is that there used to be no donating at all. It took Bloxburg a bit of time to add donating, so you actually couldn't donate to anyone at all before this. This meant everyone had to work for all of their money, and there was nothing else you could do to get money without working. We have donating now, of course, so that also means there are a lot more ways to get money without working at all. When Bloxburg did add donating, there was no donation limit. You could donate as much money as you wanted to anyone, as many times as you wanted, as long as you actually had the money. This would be amazing to have today, and a lot of people complain about how annoying the donation limit is. However, it does make sense why it's there because it stops people from losing all of their money donating, but it was definitely nice in the past when there wasn't a donation limit. The next secret is the old build mode menu. Right now, the build mode menu is on the right of your screen with all of these options here. But in the older Bloxburg, it was actually in the lower right corner and looked like this. It was a lot simpler and had a lot less features and buttons than today. As we got more features in build mode though, I think Bloxburg had to change this menu so there was room for all of the buttons. The next old secret is having no realistic builds. For a few years, Bloxburg did not have any basic shapes, structurals, or transparent decals. All of these you need to make a realistic build, like so many people do now. For a while, people didn't mind using the items already in build mode, but after a few years, people started wanting more realism and customized items in their builds, and we eventually got basic shapes and structurals. This led to way more unique builds overall, and it is super impressive how much people can make with these. Some houses in Bloxburg look like they're from real life now, which is so impressive. They added basic shapes and structurals in 2020, so if you were playing before that, you probably remember this. The next old secret is roleplays without voiceovers. In 2018, a lot of Bloxburg YouTubers made roleplay videos, but they were different from the ones today. They only used the in-game chat for these roleplays until voiceover roleplays became popular. In 2020, Tequila became popular for doing roleplays with voiceovers, and people liked them more with voiceovers than without. This started a trend that has lasted for years, and is still extremely popular today. Pretty much every roleplay on YouTube now has a voiceover, and people love them. If you were playing in 2020 or earlier, then you likely remember these older roleplays and then the voiceover ones becoming super popular. The next old secret is ding dong ditching. This also happened in 2018 a lot. Some YouTubers made videos doing this to see how people would react. Unfortunately, Bloxburg added this feature so it shows the owner of the house whoever knocks on your door, so you can't really do this anymore. But it was a fun trend for a little bit that old players probably remember either doing or being ding-dong ditched by someone. The next old secret is when Bloxburg hit 1 billion visits. Anyone who bought Bloxburg before they hit 1 billion visits got a special trophy and 100 Blockbucks. This happened a while ago. I believe it happened in the summer of 2019. Bloxburg also added a 5 billion visits trophy with 100 Blockbucks later as well, which was given to anyone who bought the game before 5 billion visits. This was more recent, however, and I think it happened in 2021. If you're an older player, you have the 1 billion visits trophy. The next old secret is not having any gardening. For a long time, until 2019, Bloxburg just had trees and a few simple plants. That was all you could do for gardening. However, they eventually released a gardening update in 2019, which added lots of new plants, flowers, planters, and the gardening skill, which unlocks special plants. Also, they made it so you have to water plants on your plot or else they would wither and die. This got annoying though. Plants took a while to water and would have to be watered all the time. If you couldn't afford sprinklers, you would have to water your plants like 24/7. Eventually, Bloxburg decreased how often you need to water plants, which saved so much time. I think anyone who remembers this is grateful for this change. The next old secret is that you actually could not block anyone from your plot. The block feature was added in 2017. I wasn't around when you couldn't block people, but it would be so frustrating. Anyone could just stay on your plot to annoy you or beg you for money or something, and you just couldn't do anything about it. I'm really glad they added this feature because it is so helpful. The next secret is old houses. There's been a lot of house trends over time with Bloxburg, but there was a style a lot of houses had back in 2017 and 2018, other than like the aesthetic houses and the monotone houses. I recreated a bit of a speed build by Anix from this time to show what houses looked like a while ago. I think they're still super cute, they just look a lot older. The next secret is only being able to work one job. In the past, you could only work one job. You couldn't have multiple jobs like you can now. They shortly changed this, so you can work more than one job. I was not playing Bloxburg when this happened, but this must have been so frustrating. If you worked at, say, Pizza Planet, you could not go and work as a woodcutter or go and work at Bloxburger. I'm really glad we can do any job we want to now and be able to work multiple jobs, because the same job can get so boring. The next old secret is that there were only a few types of roofs. I believe there were only flat roofs, mansard roofs, and pyramid roofs. In 2017, Bloxburg added hip roofs, gable roofs, gambrel, curved, and slanted roofs. This made building a lot easier, and houses looked so much better with more roof options. Building a suburban house before this update was so difficult. It was actually almost impossible. The last old secret is that cars had collisions on. This also meant you could get kicked from the game. If you went on top of a car without sitting in it and it started moving, Bloxburg would kick you because it would think you were hacking. Also, since cars had collisions on, you could use cars to run people over and sort of fling or glitch them around the map. You could also use cars to block the road too. Unfortunately, you cannot do any of this anymore though, since you can just walk through cars now because they don't have collisions on anymore. Anyway, that is going to be all for this video. Feel free to comment how many of these you knew about and how long you've been playing Bloxburg. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.